Hi, this is the Nefio R1 Scrum for June 1st. All right. Let's jump into the board. Too many windows open. Okay. I'm actually going to save that. Okay. So, we're making progress. I guess we have all next week, really, and a little bit beyond that. I guess we'll just start with the in-progress items. Or should we go through, given we just have half an hour, and have folks just give an update? I don't know. This is maybe an easier way to track it. Is this something we're working on that's supporting the updates? So any status here?
SMF update, configuration update. I added it 2 nights ago, and then yesterday and today, I'm currently in debugging hell.
Okay.
So hopefully get it done today, but by tonight, if I don't get it, make solid progress, get it done, then I'll raise the flag and ask Stephen for help because he's familiar with this stuff.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
the
right.
usual 11 p.m. call.
That does not sound fun. I'm well asleep by 11 p.m. usually. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
And that also include the comment removing extra comments, templatize the DNN name and pool, and adding the SMF service. All 4 changes are going in, and right now I have 20 compiler errors.
ooh, okay.
It's really bad. Sorry.
That's okay. All right. So I thought the UPF already supported this.
Yes, and I'm ashamed to admit I copy and paste some of that and modify it, and
That's
in the
not
process introduce very silly, obvious, not obvious errors.
Right. Okay. So are we saying this one's done though?
Which one?
Yeah, this is merged. So
Yeah.
one thing. So this is fixed. If on our PRs we write fixes and then if it's in the same repo, you can just say number whatever. But if it's not in the same repo, I think you can still just take the URL from here and say fixes this, and it'll automatically close this when PR.
Yeah. Confirmed. GitHub works across all repos as long as it's a github.com URLs. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. All right. Nice. Okay. So good. Thank you, Ann. So that's underway. Let's just make sure this is in the board. Again, we're trying to figure out how this tracking works with both the Epic and the whether we're doing something weird, but.
Yeah, there is a link actually. It can go to.
All right.
Tracked by. If you go there, it says tracked by. Then, yeah.
Oh, tracked by. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Refactor the watcher agent code. What's the status here, folks?
So Stephen isn't here, but it's it's in progress. So the challenge right now is that we have actually 3 Git repos that are kind of interconnecting, and Stephen is working hard on the topology controller. So a lot depends on that because that's where we have the new types. So yeah, it's held up there. So once we're very, very close to be able to test everything. So just to remind everybody, everything did work in the Google Seed code, but we've made so many changes to the structure of the resources. So there's just a lot of kind of refactoring, but the basic code is functional. It's just the new types.
Okay. All right, so are you blocked? Is there anything?
I'm personally blocked by Stephen, but we're working together on this, so it's not a.
Okay,
It's moving forward. It's just not.
team not
yeah,
blocked. Yeah.
team not blocked. Yes, you can say that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Refactor agent code. Okay, that would define and add resources needed for. Okay, so what's the status here?
I need to discuss with Steven. I will try to get a hold of him after this call.
Okay. All right.
Even seems like man of the hour.
All right.
Yes.
That one we
Happens
talked
when you're
about.
not on the call.
Yeah. Manual. Okay, so this one is assigned to Dennis. I saw something on Slack. So Dennis, are you here? I'm sorry, I don't have my participant window open. I can. Oh, that's not. I probably just made it go away, didn't it? Do we have? I don't see Dennis, but he said he got, according to Slack, I think if I understood it, he got it working with manual applied cap package for.
Helm charts, I think. Helm charts, I think.
No, I think last night he got it done with. Let me see.
No, I think he looked at the cap packages and he said it's okay, but he didn't test them.
All right, then here's what I'm gonna do. Okay. That way we can go back and see what's going on if we forget later. All right, we talked about that. Oh no, AMF, we didn't talk about AMF. So what is happening with AMF? Is this something we expect to do, or it's actually, I don't think it's even in our official.
Yeah, I didn't know. I think officially we had only SMF and UPF.
Okay, so maybe this is not for R1.
Wait,
It might be able to be doable, but it's really not a huge amount of code. But
I thought-
Ronak is here, right?
what's his name? Sorry, not enough sleep. What's his name?
Ronak?
Rona, thank you. He submitted PR. He said he created a PR.
Yeah. I saw the PR. It's just like full of errors, but I think it actually tries to do that. So
I think he probably mimicked what I did and are probably facing the same set of errors. So I can work with him tonight.
oh, that would be great. Yeah.
Okay.
That would be great.
No
It's
promises.
definitely
but
nice to have. Yeah, it's definitely nice to have, but it's not a committed one. That's what I meant to say. Yeah.
Yeah, but we can't do end-to-end without AMF, right?
Right, but we don't necessarily need to be able to do a configuration change to it.
Oh, okay.
I
Got
think
it.
this will be. I think this will be very easy. I don't think we have to say nice to have. I think this will happen.
Okay.
I really think it's possible.
Don't, no pressure, man.
Yeah. Well, if look, I can do it. I'm just like waiting for people to.
Okay,
to-
okay.
if
So
Ronak doesn't-
we have a backup.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry, it just weird.
So I
The
think
implementation, this is done, but the reason it's still open is because we didn't merge it. So that's why it's open.
what didn't we merge? Because we deploy it right now. I did a build for it and we deploy it.
No, this
But
is
there was always a plan to get it into the repos
tier
and stuff
repo.
like that.
Okay, but we don't really need that for R1, right? As long as we have a build of it, we can use it as an upstream. Okay.
That's the only reason it's still open, but because it's,
Okay. Okay, so I'll say bringing to, well, so you're saying there's a PR already open? Or no?
No, I did not do it because we
Oh,
said,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
We can say post R1, right?
Yeah,
Post
post
one.
one. Yeah, that's fine.
We have a build from the Nokia repo that is sufficient. So then I will change this to do, and actually, how do I can just do that? Yeah, okay. Cool. All right. Hey, that's one thing off our board. I think that I don't think Victor's here. Are we? So we have the end-to-end installer. Like, does this become? Does this become like the? Okay, get a little user guide and link how to do this. Okay, so actually, I have this now in the. I'm just gonna link. Now we can make it better, but
We have something.
we have something. Yay. Okay. I mean, there's a PR still out there. I don't know. I guess Steven's working on those things. He's not here. What's the status here? Set up Nephew Cloud as test environment. What is that? Is that just,
This should be done, I believe.
okay? So this is sort of the same.
Yeah,
the same
it
thing.
should be
Okay.
done. Yeah.
All right. End-to-end integration test, repo, and framework. Okay, so if you go and you look here, so what I did is I did split out, I added a metadata flag to tell you after getting everything up and running, run the EDE test. Now there aren't any EDE tests right now. There's an EDE shell script. Actually, it probably does do this. I haven't tested it. So if we look at this, really, oh,
So the E2E test job that was done by Rado at least was creating a VM and installing kind clusters.
right. So I think that should be replaced by this provisioning script that I assume it's probably using the same one, but I just have this little bootstrapper, which and what I did is I added so then it runs that script. So that's something. Like, I think that, so if you pass in a different, right, you pass in an additional metadata here to say run the EDE test, but that doesn't do anything like with where do those logs go and how do we check if they're successful, and there's no, the EDE tests that it's running are the ones defined. I just took what was already there, right? It's what's here, which runs a playbook that does something. Like, we need a little bit of a framework for how we, if I want to write an EDE test that goes and creates a package variant set that creates clusters and then applies, then checks to make sure that all those clusters came up and have certain values set, and then tries to connect to each of those clusters. And then I wanted to, after that, have another EDE test that then builds on top of that by deploying the free 5GC operator across all of those, making sure it comes up on each and every one. Like, I don't know how to do that right now. I guess I could do it in these Ansible playbooks, but like, and maybe that's the way we want to do it, but I need a recipe. I need a README I can look at and say, oh, how do I add these ADE tests, and then where do the results end up, and they get run in CI and all that. So I think that's the stage we're at right now.
Yeah, I'll ping Rado too. I pinged Rado. I think probably I don't know whether he's aware of these meetings. Probably I'll
Yeah,
ask
I
to
think the
join
times are probably
tomorrow.
hard.
Yeah.
I think one of the things when Victor was writing that, which was going to become the base end-to-end test, we had discussed was, as an initial step at least, instead of creating a new repo, we're going to actually create a folder for end-to-end tests and call out that one single
That would be
script,
great.
that base test. And then you can keep adding, your test could be either written in shell, could be written in Go,
Yeah.
or it could be Ansible. It could all go in there. So at least we have that base test now, but it's not in that particular directory. So I think that might be something we'll have to. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. That sounds perfect. Yeah. Okay, awesome. All right. This is kind of related.
Yeah, it's related. Yeah.
So I'm just gonna not do anything with that. So just sort out those issues and integrate with. Okay, so these are the things I just said a second ago. Okay,
Yeah.
and then there already are issues for them. That's awesome. Okay.
That is post R1. Let's make that one post R1. Label
Yeah.
simple. Let's leave it. It's not important. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it matters what I have on the status if it's not on a milestone, but whatever. Okay. All right. Okay, so we were going to talk about. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, good. So this is in progress. And then what I would ask is, as you do this, Liam, like we need to document
Absolutely, yeah.
how that's done, and if there's tweaks needed to the script, go ahead and make them. And like probably eventually that's going to have to move from the README that says quick start for GCE, and we'll have some area where we document. Here's how you do all of these for these different things. But yeah, okay.
Yeah,
so
what
good.
I'm hoping that this all should be doable with the same script.
I think
we
so.
don't have to have separate versions for different architects. And again, I just say there's gazillions of options. So this would be VM just verified. In kind of the three major things for people. Some sort of VM running in somewhere, VM running in your local machine on Mac Intel architecture, or VM running in your Windows kind of Vagrant or whatever.
That would be perfect.
That's
yes.
about it. And then on the OpenStack, then did you want to talk about that, Fikra?
I haven't added anything yet, but yeah, our plan is to possibly target so OpenStack and KubeSpray. I did have a couple of questions. I can take them at the end. If you want to run through the board first.
Yeah, we only have 5 minutes left. Unfortunately, today I have another meeting, but somebody else may be able to.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Just chiming in. Workload cluster deployment is running on my laptop, Mac Intel, but I haven't tried management cluster, so that needs to be tested.
Okay. Well, what we want to do is make sure that we can provision the workload cluster using Nefio. So we want to take the management cluster and use it to provision the kind cluster.
Back in November, I had KPT and Porch and all that on my Mac, but then that's outdated. So I need to go back and try.
Okay. All right. So it sounds like good progress is being made there. So that's good. This we talked a little about. This tells the same stuff, right? Like ties back to the things we talked about with
yes. Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I'm rushing here because somebody else can take over after I'm done, but Bala, I think.
So I added contents to this epics, sorry, these stories or issues, whatever. So I was just taking a stab at what should be the contents of install guide, release notes, and user guide. So
Okay, awesome.
and then again, I'm gonna make some more modifications into this one today. Like what I think again, John Wimtal, please go ahead and modify if edit these stories. I just wanted to make sure that it is
Anybody else?
I'm putting a template of what which should be there in each of the documents. And then Eric pinged me, John, that he said that he will also be willing to help us with the documentation.
Excellent. Okay, excellent. Yeah, he reached out to me about errors in my README file, so that's good. Okay.
The same thing with the. I did the same thing with the deployment guide too. If you click on that one and the release notes. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's a separate issue. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
great. All right, I'm just tagging me on here. You mentioned Wim and Cal, so I'm tagging them too, but then I'll get an email about it. Although I get so many GitHub emails, it's sometimes hard.
So it's basically here also I mentioned what's the compatibility metrics, supported platforms, the regular stuff.
Excellent. This is awesome. Great.
Yeah.
And then we need to know where to put all that stuff, right? So like getting like a skeleton in place somewhere in the docs directory, the docs repo or something would be helpful.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
I think I have a feeling that all these things will be in GitHub for now, right?
I think so. I'd love it if we had some documentation system, but I don't see that happening in the next week or two.
Yeah. Next one is an epic. That's the main epic that we created.
Sorry.
That said, we might be wanting to do some sort of index of documentation on the wiki page. Generally, we've gotten the TSC has really asked us to step up with the wiki. I know we barely use it, if at all, but it is an entry point for a lot of people. So, but that would be easy to do. Once we have all the documentation, we can just collate it and create kind of a table of contents in the wiki.
Yeah, I think that would be useful. Like I tend to think of like things that have like we want people to review and have some sort of authoritative content needs to be in GitHub, but like because the wiki like is pretty Wild West. So I mean maybe we could fix that, but anyway, that's a different topic. All right.
This one, that was a conversation we had. So I'll probably have an update tomorrow on this one and hopefully close it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's in progress. Okay. Yeah, this one this is this epic we are working through. We're making progress. We talked about all of those things already. And then this one, I guess, yeah, great. Okay. All right. I have to run.
Yeah, one other thing, I'll just take 1 minute. I'm gonna ping again Kandan today. Looks like on that MPL stuff, I think based on what that's the only thing that we found, which is an alternative license. That's a good news, that 1 bit from MPL. So we need an exception from TSC based on our discussions with the LFN, sorry, rather LF rather. I think based on what Kubernetes has done, that should be a straightforward exception, but it's something to be blessed by TSC.
Okay, that sounds awesome. Yeah, since it's just like a dependency, it's not even like direct dependency, it's like a transitive dependency. Like
exactly. We should do that because I don't think we can wait for the TSC meeting. So that's why I will ping Kandan to send an email or something.
Yeah,
because next TSC meeting is very close to our release.
Good point. Yes. Okay. Great point. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. It would be useful, Bala. I don't know. I think it might be useful to go through these as well, the to-do items, but make sure that we're not missing anything. But I do have to go. So, Bala, do you want to do that now, or if folks want to go through those items? I'll leave it to you to decide, I guess. But I need to drop off. So I will talk to you all tomorrow, if not earlier on Slack. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, John.
Yeah, Simon, you had a question?
Yeah, I have a question. So do we want to go through the to-dos? If not, I have a question for one of the items in to-do. I'm not sure, Bala, what you prefer. I pressed the raise hand before John suggested that we could also go through the to-do
Yeah, let's
items.
see. Let me actually, let's see. Let me open the board. Okay, let's. Once again, let me. Open it. Let me try to share my screen. Let's see if it works. Can you see my screen?
Cool.
It says it's sharing now.
Yeah, we see your screen.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, which one, Simon?
I'm not sure, but Bala, do you want to go through the list? I don't want to cut in line.
So no, I thought you wanted to talk about a specific issue, right? So
yeah, and it's in the to-do. So if we go through the list, we will get there. Otherwise, I just
Okay.
did not want to cut in line.
okay, that's fine. This one is epic. We can ignore it. We would have. This covers. I think this is. We would have already covered the individual items in this epic. Define. This is something that we need to do. By the way, when I click on this item, are you able to, I guess, able to see the details of the issue?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I just want to make sure that I don't know how the Zoom sharing. So basically, this is the if you remember in the last TSC meeting, there was a question about how are we going to release it, in what versioning, etc. That is something that we need to discuss. That's another to-do item that we need to do. Whether what do we want to call it? Are we going to call it 0.1? I hope we don't call it 1.2. But is it going to be 0.1 or what is going to be the exact version of this one? And then other aspects of the release cadence and other things that we don't need to define everything as a part of this, but I just mentioned it here, such as release cadence, length of the support for release, etc. Those things may not be that critical, but what is definitely critical is what is the versioning scheme that we are going to use for the first release. We definitely want to do that. I think probably we will have to decide in next week's meeting that based on that we need to have our branching tagging mechanism in GitHub.
Shouldn't we just use the typical major, minor, and patch versioning
Yes.
scheme?
Yes, and that's yes. I was also thinking the same thing. We should use the same thing, major XYZ, x dot y dot z. That's what I mentioned here. But I don't know what do we want to call it. Should it be .1 or .1, or does anybody has any
I
idea?
would vote for 0.1 because it's a minor, right? It's not obviously not 1.0.
Right.
So we'll start with
yes.
0.1.0 or 0.1 and then go from there.
I suggest we raise this with the TSC. There might be other aspects in terms of
Oh, okay.
what the Linux Foundation would like to do, because I think some people would want this to be a 1.0.
Oh, God.
Well, you know, again, it's, you know, what meaning you place on it, but there's yeah, I think the TSC should have some say in this.
Yeah, I was under the impression that the TSC is asking us to define it and then come back.
Well, you know, everybody has been calling this R1. I'm not even sure where that name came from or how it cropped up, but the understanding of everybody is that this is a release. We'll see if the TSC has no objections. If they'll just accept whatever we suggest, then we can.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess our one kind of sounds to me a little bit waterfally. Okay.
Yeah, I just mentioned that both the things, both from trial and here, our general sentiment is 0.1.0, but we'll have to mention this to TSC and get this work done. So I'll do that.
The thing is that if we do define it as 0.1, then we'll have to be clear what we mean by 1.0, right? What do we mean for ourselves? Because
Agreed.
I see a lot of projects that do that and they never release a 1.0 because it was never clear to them what that would even mean.
I mean,
but
we
that would
could-
be my suggestion.
But
We
I
could
mean,
call it 1.0 if we can get the end-to-end working, right?
Is that the criterion? I don't know. That's my point. That the
That's
question is, what does
no, that's
1.0
my answer to your question, because if we can get one end-to-end testing working, then I feel more comfortable calling it 1.0 with the caveat that, you know, a lot of it is Helm package bring up, right? So does that make sense?
A lot of things make sense. It's the question is what we decide to do. Yeah, that's the issue. I mean, there are pros and cons to many approaches. Personally, I'm pretty much done with XYZ theming. I'm more a believer in just a running number and possibly with major minor, but I think XYZ starts getting crazy and, you know, people add dashes and other things. But especially because we have so many components, so we're really talking about the version of a distribution rather than maybe individual components. So there are a lot of aspects here that we need to discuss, right? So anyway.
And I think 1.0 probably does indicate a certain level of stability as well. Not saying that we don't have that, but I just think if you're looking at a project,
It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to, right? Projects like ONAP just followed big release numbers, right? Whether or not they were stable or used, that's another question.
I said projects in general.
Yeah.
So if there, as long as you know there is some semantic definitions to that, because that's the interpretation. Exactly what does it mean? Right? So if you say the XYZ and then say, okay, X means this, Y means this, I'm not sure if there's standard practice, some reference document for that, but
yeah,
that would be,
in my view, the very first line of the release notes should say what this is for. Is this ready for production? Not ready for production? And even ready for production, what does that mean?
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Because I was thinking that if you brought up general distro, do we intend for Netfield to be adopted into production? If we do, then 1.0 should be the first distro.
That's, you know, you're asking exactly the right question, right? Because is this a reference implementation? Probably. What does reference implementation mean, and how do you version that as well? So I think if we might be dropping into rabbit holes of trying to define these, which is exactly why I'm kind of happy to just have a running number, R1, R2, R3. And if we want to make point releases, we can do them and name them maybe, but XYZ seems to be a little bit too semantically deep for me, and I don't think we have quite that depth. But we'll see. We'll decide together and see what the TSC has to say about it as well, I think.
Okay, I will send an email. I will put a message in the TSC chat about this.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Discussion, and this one we already talked. Track topology intent updates to aggregated status. I think this is. I think we already spoke about this, and we also have some status on this from Stephen in the Slack as well. I think we don't need to discuss any further on this one. And the other two things are epics. The one second, guys. Let me just get them. Yeah, and just to ensure, this one is was Dennis was doing. We wanted to. I actually pinged Peter from Orange to see if he could work with Dennis on this one. This is make sure that the other and the functions that Peter checked in as KPT packages in the free 5GC packages repo works as intended. This is in addition to the 3 things that we are considering for the release as well. So I don't see Dennis in the call today. I mean, Tal, did you get any updates from him?
No, but from what can I see on Slack, it's there's progress. People are hunkering down and incrementing. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think I pinged Peter also. Hopefully they will work together on this one. So, and but Simon, in any of the things, right? Please, if that particular issue comes, please let me know. Research how to mock queue builder. I think yeah, I think Tal. Are we already doing it? Are we already doing it in our unit tests?
I think we talked about putting it in the backlog at this point. We're not, let's be honest, our unit tests are very, very, very basic. and that's probably okay, for a first release. I think that's totally fine. They're more like sanity checks just to make sure we're not breaking anything.
Yeah.
But we'd eventually want, the whole topic of how we build operators and how we test them there's part of a bigger story. We definitely, for R2, want to move towards an operator SDK that we haven't owned, that might own this kind of component for helping to test whatever you build with an FAO SDK. So it's a very, very big topic. So I think we've decided just to move to pass the buck in this case.
Can you go back? I thought I saw my name as the assignee.
Yeah, you were originally said that you would look at it, but I think
yeah, I haven't had any cycle to do that. Sorry.
No worries. Yeah, if you want to remove yourself from the assignment, you can.
No, I'll tackle it in R2 if we put it in R2 or R1++.
Yeah, that is moved out and right now. Yeah, moved out of the release.
Yeah, right now I'm head down on SMF getting it done. So sorry.
Yeah. Cool, no problem. Thanks, Sam. Yeah. So what is this? And then test to ensure that we did that. Initial 5GC, free 5GC package for the operator. This is the package for the operator itself. I think is it duplicate? Yes.
It might be a duplicate, right? I have a feeling. Well, in any case, if it's closed, right? We do have an initial. Oh, wait, you mean
package? This for the package. The kept
you mean
package
the
for the
cat
operator.
package?
Yeah.
You mean the cat package?
Yeah.
So, okay, actually, this is, well, the word initial here, yes, we have an initial one, but we're working right now on actually updating it because we haven't touched it since the summit. So I don't know if that's a separate issue, right? I think we have a separate issue on that.
We have a separate issue for that. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, well, the initial one is there.
Yeah.
So I think
I'll just make it as done then.
oh, so we're not closing issues, right, with the new system? Yeah. Okay.
I mean, we could close. Where is? Okay.
Yeah, I'm still getting used to this whole GitHub project management thing. I think we all are. It's pretty cool, but we need to probably have a good understanding of how it works.
Yeah. This one, templatize. What is this? Templatize UPF IP in DNN CDR SMF configuration. Dennis had put it. Do you know, Tal, what is this?
Yes, I know what it is. It's it's very specific. So yeah, treat it as an improvement to the operator code. Antu, I think you're working on it as well, right?
Yes, that's one of the bugs. or
Yeah.
a bunch of the bugs are, I added the code the other night and then I'm debugging.
Yeah, I see Dennis open it specifically for UPF. Oh, no, he says,
No,
yeah,
this
it's
is,
for, right. It's in the SMF configuration, but it's for its connection to its usage of the same network as UPF, basically.
yeah,
Oh.
because UPF specified the DNN IP in sitter, and then SMF has to pick it up.
Yeah, we discussed this in our stand up where I asked Dennis to open this actually, so I know what it is now. Yeah, so let's, exactly, thank you. It's a
So,
sign
and
on.
Yes,
Yeah, it's kind of a leftover. We had something hard coded, and I think this is the last piece that will be generated. So yeah.
Okay.
So On2 is working on it. Yeah.
Awesome. I did that. Let me see. Okay, this is an UI epic. That's okay.
oh, one more thing, sorry.
Yeah.
I think the same set of bugs in AMF is the same thing as as SMF, so, you know, just FYI. The UPF IP and DNN IP and DNN pool. So a sitter pool.
Yeah, that's a question to maybe Tal or experts with the AMF UPF stuff.
It's hard to say. There's a lot of both Ronak and On2 are working with a bunch of changes right now. Let's let the dust settle. Let's have these PRs in and then look at the whole status of all the operators. There's some work I want to do in cleaning up and making sure that the code is consistent. So yeah, there's just a lot of flux right now. So let's let things settle and then take a look if everybody's doing the same thing in the three controls.
The AMF PR is in, but you said earlier that there were some bugs.
I think Ronak is still working on it because I see a lot of failing. So there might, it's not done and merged. Yeah.
All right. So thank you. Let's do this one. So I think Wim, you were working on this, if I believe. So basically when a new edge cluster is created, detect it and automatically okay, I had to automatically install, I think.
I mean, I'm not sure whether we are doing it through the Bootstrap cluster, because the Bootstrap is only meant for config sync, right? So what we have to do is point that package towards config sync, I think, but we first need the package. So I'm not working on this at all at the moment.
Okay. So this is the watcher agent, right? Oh yeah. But you said if the watcher agent code is there, it will automatically install it. I remember something that like.
What has to happen is it needs to be installed on the package of the workload cluster, and if that's the case, then it will happen automatically.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be included in every single. Again, I think, the whole issue of infrastructure and how we manage sites is a big topic. We kind of did it in a very ad hoc way, I feel, in R1, and with not enough community discussion and the implications of everything. So I think it is what it is at this point, but it's definitely something we want to talk about. How do we manage sites at scale and in the future? For now, yeah, you'll have to probably add it manually to your site blueprint, right?
No, you don't have to do that. We have an automatic installation. What I'm just saying is you have to put it into the repo of the workload cluster.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
If someone, but there is a mechanism to do so, right? So you just create a PVS for it and that's it.
Well, isn't that the whole injection thing that John was talking about?
Yeah, I mean, we already have proven that it works, but someone needs to take into account of how that Edge Watcher is designed and how it should, and what all the dependencies are and stuff like that. So someone needs to do that. But the installation, the mechanism to install is there. We just have to, there. The question is, what are all the other pieces that you need to make that happen?
Yeah, we basically
I
need a
think-
cat package for the agent.
Yeah, and you need a PVS to get it into the workload cluster and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm hoping that the team working on the watcher and the topology is doing all of that, right? Because otherwise you'd never have an end-to-end thing. But I'm not involved in that, Bala.
Okay, okay, got it. But so is this statement the right one? I just want to make sure that I'm not bluffing. If someone puts the package for Edge Watcher in the workload cluster repo, then this should be installed with the Bootstrap controller?
No,
Yeah, I think this.
Yeah.
no. No, I think anything beyond setting up the cluster is going to go through config sync, right?
Yes. Oh, right, not the Bootstrap controller. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yes. So someone needs to put it into the repo of the workload cluster that will be created when you bootstrap a cluster. That's
it.
what has to happen.
Okay. Got it.
You could do it through the bootstrap cluster, but I don't think then we are violating the intention. So we should not
I
do it.
think the description of this issue is just a little confusing. We don't have any system that will automatically detect new clusters. That's
Yes, we
kind
do.
of, well,
We have that.
what
We
do
have
you
that.
mean by that detection of new clusters, right?
If
well,
we create a new cluster, it will be detected to see whether it's running, because otherwise, how can we install config sync automatically?
Yeah,
through it?
clusters
Like
that we manage. Yeah, we well.
yeah,
it's
but that's what it is, right?
Yeah, but my point is, if you start up a new cluster, right, in your cloud,
Through Nefio, we are talking about right here. So
right.
So we are, if you install a new cluster, someone says, here is a new cluster, we should automatically install the Edge Watcher. That's what this is about, in my view.
Yeah, I understand. I just think the phrasing of the title is a little confusing to me.
Okay.
It's not about implementing detection of new clusters. It's about maybe make sure to install a Watcher agent on new clusters, something like that. Install Watcher agent on provision clusters. How's that?
Okay. Sounds
Does
good.
that make
So
sense?
quick- Sorry, just a quick question. How are you and Steven working on the Edge Watcher?
We are, yes.
Okay,
Yes,
thanks.
and Arvin too, by the way.
Oh, okay. I love to get a brain dump when you guys are done.
Yes. I mean, we had, as Stephen did initial, when Google provided the seed code finally, we did some overviews about how everything works, but we're very aware that, the Nefio team at large, it's kind of a mysterious part of it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's, we had a lot on our plate, and it was important at least to get this into R1. So we're just doing, at some point we'll sit down and look at this, look at the whole design as well, and make sure that the community is actually wants this design. There are a lot of questions here, about it. We just want to make sure it works.
Yeah, and get it in first, and then we'll talk about it. Yeah. Thanks.
All right. Anything more to discuss on this one?
No, it's good. Thanks.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Oh, what happened?
You have a comment, so you have to press.
Got it. Yeah.
If you, well, you
Comment.
didn't. Yeah, it's a exactly. Yeah, now you're good. Yeah.
Thank you. So this one, add support to X-status aggregator. Is it? I think Arvind created this issue. Ways to update the NF topology. Okay. Currently, Edge status.
This is my main responsibility in this story. So I can give you an explanation, or you can just accept that we're working on it. It's basically the part, because we've completely changed our CRs. So we need to update And we're also having a richer way in which we update the status. Right, so we have, so actually this already changed. It talks about NF deploy, but we have something called NF deployed that Stephen is working on. So there's another CR to show that the actual status. So this has to do with the architecture of the topology controller.
Okay.
Yeah, and I know we need to actually show it. Stephen is working really hard on it. So it's yeah, it's one of these last minute aspects.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. The next one is renaming our Git repositories. Is this so Tal, do you think, do we need to do it before R1 or can we do it after R1? What do you think?
I feel like people don't have appetite for this because it'll break things. You'll need to update imports and things like that. It will probably create a lot of disruption at this point. So I think it should be postponed. But I say that with a lot of sadness because I think our repo structure is terrible. It's very, very hard to understand what is what. So I would say that instead of this, for R1, if we have a wiki page that explains exactly all the repos and what they are in one place, so you don't have to click repo by repo and find out, because newcomers to the project right now will have a very, very bad time understanding our repository structure. The names mean very little about what's actually the content and the role that the repositories play. So I would say to do that instead for now. So kind of a wiki page that's a Git repository index.
Yeah, I did that. All right, so let's keep it for now, since we have these action items. Okay. What else? Okay, so now the UI editor. I think this is in progress, if I remember correctly. Do we have Chandra or anyone in the call? Ganesh or Chandra? I think I'll move this to in progress. Deploy a 5GC operator on workload cluster using Nephew. I think this is the one. What's the comment on this one?
Yeah, this is the one you said that's still open, right?
Yeah.
Quick question.
Yeah, this is also the one I meant.
Okay. Yeah, please.
Is this using the Nuffield? I mean, right now we could deploy the free 5GC operator, right? But I'm not so sure what's left to be done.
Yeah, this is basically writing the package and then package set, and then using the package variant set to deploy the operator onto the workload clusters is what I think it is. So that's why probably Simon had a comment. Please, Simon.
Yeah, no, my comment cannot explain what it is. My understanding is that it entails building the operator into a Docker image and then writing the KPT package for it. My question was more, is someone already working on it? If not, I could take this one up.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that would be great. So I think Dennis is working on it in the context of trying to put everything together to call, right? So he's using of that package and Helm charts for the rest of the components from the Towards 5GS project. So yeah, Yeah, we can assign it to him, or Simon, you could kind of touch base with him and see where he is. I think he would appreciate some help too.
Yeah, sure.
possibly.
I'll give him a ping in Slack. Is he on Slack?
Yes,
Yeah.
he is. Yeah, he's
Okay,
very
perfect.
responsive, but it depends on the hours. So terrific.
So
Yeah.
I send it to
Okay,
both of you
perfect.
on this one. Dennis and Simon. Simon, please coordinate with Dennis. Simon,
Yep.
which time zone are you in?
Germany, which
Okay.
I don't know, is it GMT +1, I guess.
I think Dennis is in Belgium. So
That is
Close enough.
perfect. It's the same time zone.
yeah, probably can meet in a coffee shop and work together maybe. No,
And
Germany and
it-
Belgium are kind of far.
Yeah, it's, I was gonna say it's still far. It's not by
Yeah, it's still-
American standards far, but European standard is still far.
Plus,
Sorry,
I
sorry, I live in Texas. Everything is far.
Well, I would imagine if you two get together, it'll be beer and not coffee.
Yeah, that's true.
Possibly, yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
So what is this? Let's see. I think this wish, what is this one? NF packages are deployed successfully onto workload clusters using Nephew. This is again it's making sure that
Then fish drop.
he dropped. Okay. Okay, thank you. Let's talk about it later then. This is again we discussed these things. This is to scale out UPF. Let me put it in progress so that we don't have confusion. We need to do
Wait.
this.
I thought we had agreed to defer this until we get end-to-end working. There's no point of scaling out until.
Yes. I just wanted to put it in this thing because one of my intention is to not to look at to-do list.
Okay.
Right. If it is in the in progress list, we know we can just focus on this because we know we need to do this before the release. So that's one. And then the UI test too. Let me also drag it in here. All right. I just want to make sure one of the exercises I'm trying to do in this one is to make sure that all the items that we need to do is in progress so that we don't need to always look into the to-do for the next 2 weeks. It's not ideal, Anne, but just trying to. This one too. All right. So anything else?
So,
Board or
well, we're
anything?
over time. I would recommend we can continue tomorrow. We have
Yes,
these
I
every
think,
day.
yeah, cool. Awesome. Yeah, thanks. I did not even realize when I'm sharing, it occupies my entire screen. Yeah. Istvan has a question. Sorry, Istvan, I was not.
No. It's I can do it. It is really a question. It's a technical question, and I can do it on Slack or tomorrow. So,
Okay.
Tal is right. We are over time by now.
Okay. Yeah, if it is urgent, probably you can wait for a couple of minutes. That's fine too. If it is a quick one, we can ask Istvan.
No. I will ask it. I most probably I will ask it on Slack.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Sorry, I was not able to see any raised hands when I was sharing the screen. Sorry about that.
No problem at all.
Yeah. Okay, thanks
Okay.
everyone.
Bye.
By the way, it says recording. I am not able to stop recording. I think
It'll stop automatically when we
stop
finish.
automatically. Okay, cool. When I quit the meeting. Okay, thank you.